Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why you can't go back. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So why you can't go back, this applies to so many things in your life. Nothing more true than the narcissistic relationship. You see, you now have acquired wisdom. You now know what narcissism is. You were in that relationship for a period of time, and now you're applying all the tools, you're learning the definitions, you're understanding what things like gaslighting are, triangulation, the smear campaign, what financial abuse is, and so many more terms. Back then, when you were in that relationship, you didn't know what you know now. Remember, life is dynamic. It's always shifting. It's ebbing and flowing. It's changing. And before you met the narcissist, you certainly were one person. When you entered that relationship with them, you became somebody completely different. You were the shell of yourself. You were an extension of them. You lost your identity. You were doing things you never thought you would do. You were saying things you never thought you would say. You were tolerating behaviors you never even knew that existed. Having said all those things, you now understand many, many ideas of the mindset of the narcissist. Example, some of the reasons why they do what they do. Here's another one. The fact that they don't love you. They never did love you. They don't love the new supply. They don't love anybody because there's no love within them. Another thing you're realizing is they have no empathy. They can fake love. They can fake empathy. They can fake that they're missing you, etc. And they can plant seeds of doubt, seeds of mystery, seeds of wondering, seeds of future faking, and so many other seeds in your mind. Which is why once you get the wisdom and you apply the tools that are provided for you in the videos I create and in the comments section, in the community on the videos, that's when you realize that perhaps today is the day that you will go no contact. Perhaps today is the day you will finally draw the line in the sand and you will say, no, I am not going to leave any avenues open to this person who turned out to be the narcissist. You see, on the healing path, there will be ebbs and flows again. Sometimes in the beginning of the ending of the relationship, meaning when you were discarded or you ended it yourself, there's a big learning curve to go through. This is a void, and that void must be filled by you because you are now, if this is where you are in the journey, or if it's where you now were missing what you were missing, which was the negativity, the toxicity, the roller coaster of the thrill of being in the relationship with the narcissist. When I say thrill doesn't mean a positive thing, by the way. It means when you open the front door and you're walking on eggshells. It's when you can cut the tension in the room with a butter knife. It's when you can't be yourself, but yet you don't want to be without the narcissist. This is what is called the trauma bond. Now, the trauma bond is the most powerful and challenging thing to be a part of, specifically once you don't know what it is. And even if you do know what it is and you're still in it, it is very difficult to wrap your head around what that is. What it is, in layman's terms, is when a person is taking you super high and dropping you super low. They're promising you A, B, and C, and they're delivering X, Y, and Z. And what they're trying to do, or what they were trying to do, is get you hooked on them. They wanted to sink their dirty fangs into so they could slowly extract your resources, which again include your time, money, empathy, energy, love, your passion, your hopes, dreams, your hobbies, your relationships, your future, your fulfillment. They want to take everything from you and more. This is an energetic exchange between you and the narcissist. They wanted to dump their toxicity into you. They wanted to steal your beautiful, bright, shining light. Now, your beautiful, bright, shining light, it has always shone. It's shone higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. You may not have thought that. You may have thought that it was extinguished. It's never been extinguished because you're here in the community and you're getting your cup full. You see, the narcissist took their best shots at you, plural, but they failed. And yes, they did fail miserably. They thought you would never break the trauma bond. They thought you would never heal. They thought you would never figure out who they were. They thought you would never go no contact. But you've done all of those things, or some of those, and you will accomplish the others, which you haven't done yet. And you will break the four ties: the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. This will take time. It will take a lot of time. But in your time, you will break free from the toxic narcissist and that relationship and being stuck in the trauma bond and the mindset of missing them. That is a very vulnerable place to be when you are helpless. You don't know what the wisdom is, meaning you don't have the education on narcissism, and you're missing the person who turned out to be your worst enemy, the person who was administering all of the negativity, who was punishing you for being you, but yet expected you to be the indentured servant, the walking apology, the sounding board, the person who regulated them, and the person who paid their way through life for a period of time. You see, think about the house that you lived in. Maybe you married the narcissist, or maybe you were roommates, or maybe romantic relationships, whatever it was. The house was theirs, whether you know it or not. You were just paying the bills. Think about what I'm sharing with you. They owned the house. They owned the refrigerator. They owned the laundry room. They owned the bedroom. They owned everything in that house. You may have thought you did because perhaps you purchased the house. I get it. You were paying the bills. That's what you were doing. They were controlling everything from the temperature in the house to the lights, if they were dim or if they were bright, to the sound or the music or the blaring nonstop Spotify, to what was delivered, what wasn't, who you talked to, who you didn't talk to, when they spent time with you, when they didn't. This is why the loneliest place on the planet, it's not when you're alone. It's when you're in a relationship with a toxic person who is invalidating you, devaluing you, gaslighting you, giving you the silent treatment, and expecting you to do A through Z and more. The narcissist knows what they are doing. They've done it before they met you. They did it with you, and I'm certain they're doing it right now. Having said that, this is why you can't go back. There are times on the healing path, specifically if the relationship ended recently, when you will be questioning yourself. You'll be wondering, did I do the right thing? Should I have stayed in that relationship longer? Could I have given more? Does the narcissist love me? Can they change? Is the new supply getting everything that I put into the narcissist and more? You'll be thinking those things. And these are natural thoughts, because what you're doing is you're unraveling the past. And in time, you will practice radical acceptance, which means you will have to wrap your head around that no, the new supply is not getting anything better than you did. B, the narcissist doesn't care about you or the new supply. C, the narcissist doesn't care about anybody. And D, you did everything you possibly could. And this is the most important part of this video. That relationship ended when it was supposed to end, no matter what you think. So could you have hung in it longer? Possibly. Would you have endured more toxicity? Yes. Would it have been worth it? No, it wouldn't. So each and every narcissistic relationship not only has an expiration date, but they end when they're supposed to end. Now you may have been in the relationship in the past, and maybe you've healed, and you've healed properly, and you're feeling great. That's a good thing. That means you slowed your life down and you stayed in that cocoon of boundaries, and you put yourself back together. And you had the long nights, you had the sleepless nights, you had the nights when you didn't want to, or you couldn't go to sleep. You had the times with the carnal screams. You journaled, you meditated, you saw a therapist, you watched videos, you read, you healed childhood wounds and more. And you, the person who has healed, you realize that not only can't you go back, you won't go back, but now there is no toxicity in your life any longer. Play that again. You see, when you've healed, you don't have the tolerance for toxicity. You can see poor behavior in an email, in a text. You can hear it in the subway or in a car or an airplane. And what you do is you just keep your small footprint and you say, wow, I used to be caught up in that also, but now I'm not. And unfortunately, that person who is experiencing the toxicity, they're going to have to go through a learning curve like I did, but I can't save them. Because when you were discarded or when that relationship ended, nobody knocked on the door to save you, and they couldn't even if they wanted to, but no one checked in on you. You had to put yourself back together just like I did. And that is a very challenging pill to swallow, but it's reality. It's what we all have to go through. You see, when the relationship ends, it ends with a thud, a crash, and a bang, and you are isolated. You're all by yourself. Your support system is imploded. The smear campaign is well underway, and most likely you are at a very low part of your life. You were very vulnerable. You probably just lost all your money or your job, or you had a health concern, or something happened in your life, and that's when the narcissist usually discards people. But having said that, you had to crack the code. You had to figure it out. You had to find that needle in a haystack, and that's what you've done. That's why you're here in the community. And when you put yourself back together, if you're one of the healed people, then you can reflect back and look back. How did I stay in it that long? How did I do what I did? How did I maintain my 9-to-5 job? How did I improve my health? How did I get out of the trauma bond? How did I heal? How did I put myself back together? Well, you did it because you had no choice. And you're resilient, and you're courageous, and you're strong, and you're full of fortitude, love, and abundance, and direction, and of course, purpose. These are all things the narcissist doesn't have, and these are things the narcissist didn't want you to have, which is to find your path, find your purpose, and heal. That is why you can't go back. So now, if the relationship ended a little bit ago, or a little while ago, or recently, again, you will be questioning, you'll be wondering and thinking, wow, is there something more I should have done, or should I take a peek at their social media, or etc.? Well, no, you shouldn't be peeking at anybody's social media. You should be taking that energy that you're using thinking about the narcissist and place it back into yourself. Now, I understand it's not that easy. I get it. You're going to have to get the toxicity out of your veins. You're going to have to get the toxicity out of your mind. You're going to have to really slow things down and process things when you begin ruminating, and process things when you can't go to sleep, and process things when you don't want to leave your house, etc. All of these things equal the healing path. The healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you with the videos I create and with the wisdom in the comment section in the community. Because at one point in time, I was where you are, or I was where you were, depending on where you are in the journey. But no longer am I in the trauma bond. No longer am I caught up. No longer am I believing in the falseness of a person who claimed that they loved me or cared about me. See, that was all smoke and mirrors. It was a relationship built on quicksand. It was a house of cards. It was the narcissist mirroring back what I wanted to see in another person. And that's probably what happened with you. But again, these people had done it before they met you. They did it with you, and they're doing it right now. That's what they know. They know one thing, which is full speed ahead and destroy as many people's lives and relationships as they possibly can, which again includes their kids, their spouses, their friends, their colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, whoever they can destroy or disrupt. That's what they will do. That's why you can't go back. You see, the narcissistic relationship is a one-way ticket to Destructionsville. It has never improved in the history of humanity. It never will miraculously improve right now. So no matter what you're thinking, that yes, you should consider taking a peek at their social media, or you should drive by their house, or you should ask questions about them. No, 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 and no, 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 and no, no, no. You need to know nothing about the narcissist. You don't want to know anything about them at all. And more importantly, or equally as important, they shouldn't know anything about you. You need to become small, get a small footprint, and get off the radar of the narcissist. And go gray rock if you're still in the relationship. If you are also, create, develop, and get ready to execute an exit plan. And if you're out of it, you need to maintain no contact, have boundaries, learn to say no, the strongest word in the English language, and conserve your energy for yourself. As I shared earlier in the video, you are a beautiful, bright, shining light. The narcissist is a toxic energy vampire. What they wanted to do was capture your energy, your abundance, your positivity, and your beautiful, bright, shining light. And they wanted to use it as a fuel source to catapult them from one leg of their life to the next leg. And then what they wanted to do was discard you or end it, and then get a new, fresh fuel source. This is what they do. They go around and around and around in a loop. And who they look for are three different kinds of people. Well, two different kinds of people, but the third isn't good for them. The one kind of person they look for is the kind, loving empath, a naive person who doesn't know anything about narcissism. Second person is a clean slate, which is somebody who doesn't know anything about anything, but maybe they're not an empath, meaning they don't know that narcissism exists. And the third kind will be a recycled source of supply, someone they've already gotten caught up and trapped in the narcissistic fog, who perhaps is stuck because they haven't healed, and maybe they're pining for the narcissist 5, 10, 20 years later. And if the narcissist knocks on their door or texts them or something, they will be wide open to communicating with them because they didn't get the wisdom. They don't know what you know. That's why you are in rarefied air, whether this is the first video you're consuming or the 5,000th video. You're understanding that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and there's no room in your life for toxicity, and there's certainly no room in your life for the narcissist or any poor behavior. You've already gone through the cycle. You've already had to put yourself back together. That's why you can't go back. If you were to go back and even open that door a crack, eventually it would be kicked open full swing, and you would fall all the way backwards, and it would destroy you. It would not help you. It would not improve you, because the narcissist already knows what buttons to press with you. They already know what your hopes, dreams, and aspirations are. And if you left that door open just a crack, or if you reopened it and don't, no matter what you do, don't, then they're saying, oh, okay, this one, which is you, they're not as strong as they thought. I waited a month, a year, 10 years, whatever, and I see that they unblocked me on this social media platform. Why would they unblock me after all that time? Oh, because they haven't healed, and they're wondering what I'm doing. They're wondering where I am. You know what I'll do? I'll just go back and down memory lane, and I'll think about what I did to them. Oh, I remember. I discarded them before a very important holiday during one of the most challenging periods of time in the history of humanity. Oh, I remember what to do. Boom. Now I'll try and get them to communicate with me, grab a cup of coffee, and here we go for round whatever number it is. You see, the narcissist can't change. They can't introspect. They can't be accountable. All they can do is dish out punishment and abuse people and manipulate people and keep people stuck in that narcissistic fog or the trauma bond, whatever you want to call it. That's why you are different than others. That's why you've healed or you are healing. And that is why for this video, you guessed it, you can't go back. So if you haven't blocked them yet or haven't gone no contact, I strongly suggest you consider doing it. What are you waiting for? Do it now. If not now, when? These people don't improve. They don't change. They're looking for another opportunity. They're hoping a certain period of time passes by, whether it's a week, a month, 6 months, or whatever. And then if you engage with them, then they're saying, yep, here we go again. What round is this? Wow, it's so many rounds. I can't keep track any longer, but you know what? I can get more money out of them, or I can get more sympathy out of them, or I can get more empathy out of them, or I can get more time out of them, or I can learn more about them to punish them later, or I can guilt them again, or blame them again, or play the victim card. You see, any conversation with the narcissist, it will never go your way. It never has, and it never will. The narcissist has a petulant child mindset, which means they are spoiled, they are entitled, they believe they're smarter and better than everyone else. And what happened with the narcissist? They never developed properly. They never learned to put themselves in other people's shoes. It would be too painful for them to do that. That's why they just run around destroying people's lives. That's why they erase the past. That's why they rewrite the past. And that's why nobody, and I mean nobody, is immune to the toxicity of the narcissist. That's why once you identify who these people are, you need to run for the hills and need to get away from them as far as you possibly can and seal that door or those avenues of communication airtight. Do not ever go back. You can't go back. It hasn't served anybody in the history of the planet, and you won't be the first person it serves. So break the trauma bond, heal, get away from these people, have a small footprint, do whatever you need to do, but don't give them another opportunity. Don't peek at their social media. Don't know anything about them. Don't ask questions about them, and don't let anyone give you updates about them. The whole path here is to get you to understand that you are the beautiful, bright, shining light. You're not an energy source. Understand the narcissist looked at you as a fuel source. They looked at you as supply. I look at you as a beautiful, bright, shining light, as an independent, healthy, stable, loving, kind, empathetic person with so much promise and fulfillment for the rest of your life. This is why you can't go back. Get the message, apply the tools, begin today, if not now, when? So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I'm in a different location, a little bit similar to yesterday, but a different one, and I hope the sound is better. The weather's really turning here, and things are really getting beautiful here in the Carolinas. I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. Realize a few things. If in the past you were considering opening communication or talking with them or giving them a chance, or you hadn't gone no contact or blocked them yet, I get it. I understand it all. That's why the healing path is a journey. That's why it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's why all of our relationships with the narcissist are similar, but yet unique to ourselves. And that's why when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that's why today probably is the day you go no contact, or today's the day you remove that dating app from your phone, or today's the day that you don't take a peek at their social or whatever you were doing. Realize the narcissist doesn't care about you as a beautiful, bright, shining light or as a human being. They care about utility. They care about what you provided. And if you have any avenue of communication open with them and they know it, they will take advantage of it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the future, if they know that you're weak and you haven't healed, they will try their best to kick that door wide open in the future. And that's the last thing you should want, and it's the last thing you should be open to. You need to maintain your boundaries, and you need to go no contact. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.